A better method than publishing directly from Flash is using a JavaScript library called SWFObject. SWFObject is the best way to optimize your content for search engines if you're going to use Flash. It enables you to use Flash while putting alternate content in case someone viewing your page does not have the Flash player installed. To download SWFObject, go to code.google.com/p/SWFObject. From there, you can go to the feature download section to download SWFObject and, if you want, the SWFObject generator. I'm going to download SWFObject version 2.2 and I'm going to save it into the same folder as my HTML file. So I'll just click save and save it in there. And then I'm going to save the SWFObject generator. And this will generate the code that I need. So I'm going to open that file up in a web browser. And I'm going to copy and paste this code. So let's go through and talk about how this works. So we have the SWFObject that's looking for the file name. So this is just going to be swfobject.js. I'm going to choose dynamic publishing for the type. Dynamic publishing is the preferred method because it allows you to have really clear alternate content for the search engines. Static publishing is more for devices that have poor JavaScript support but still have Flash support. So I'll detect Flash version 10 since I published my application at Flash Player 10. And then for my HTML container ID, I'll refer to my HTML file, which is in another tab. I called it alt content. So let's go back to Firefox and I'll type alt content. My SWF file is gallery.swif and the dimensions are 910 by 540 pixels. And in alternate content section, I can put alternate content. So this is what's going to show if the Flash player is not installed. So I'll just type, here is the alternate content for the image gallery. And if you wanted to, of course, you can put image HTML in here and the images could display anyway if the person did not have Flash, so they can see a non-Flash version of the same content. So I'm going to click the generate button to generate the code. And I'm really only concerned with some of this code. I'm going to copy those two script blocks at the top. So from script type equals text/JavaScript down to the closing script tag. I'm going to press Command C on my keyboard to copy. I'll tab over to my HTML file and I'll paste that in the head of the file, right below that closing head tag. The closing head tag looks like a less than sign, a /, head, and then a greater than sign. Tab back over to SWFObject, and then I can copy that alternate content that I created, and then tab over to my HTML file and paste that code inside of the alternate content. So where it says here is the alternate content for the image gallery. So now I'll save this file. And before I test it in a browser, I'm going to go to Finder and I'll find my folder where I dropped the SWFObject 2.2 and I'll expand the zip file. Now I need to have swfobject.js in the same folder as my SWF file, so I'll just click and drag to move it in there. And now I'll open up galleryflash.htm in a web browser. And here it is. So I can go through my slideshow, and it's there, and notice that you don't see that alternate content. So let's see what this would look like if somebody visited this page without Flash installed. I'll go to Tools, Add-ons, and I'll disable Flash by going to Plugins, selecting Shockwave Flash, and choosing Disable. Now when I go back to the page, I can refresh it by pressing F5 on my keyboard, and then you'll see the alternate content where my application was. So here you can control exactly what the user sees if they don't have Flash installed. So here you can put a link to download Flash, you can put an alternate version of the application using HTML and or JavaScript or whatever you want.